Start with our first panel member. As mentioned, Professor Mohammed Irfan, Irfan of the University of Madras, specialist in obesity, and Professor Irfan is in favor of imposing sugar tax. I'd like to give the word to Professor Irfan.
Thank you. To begin with, when I was looking into researching this topic, I found something that combines sugar with society, and it was slavery. Sugar was the reason slavery was popular back then, and even today, all of us are enslaved to sugar in one form or the other. In 2012, the UN recorded that 35 million annual deaths worldwide was caused due to non-contagious diseases, which includes heart disease, diabetes, or cancer. And do you know how many of these three can sugar be a direct or an indirect cause of? All three. In order to regulate or tax a commodity, such as alcohol or cigarette, the government looks at 4 criteria, that was proposed by Thomas Paper. He says, look at its unaffordability, its toxicity, its negative impact on society, and its potential for abuse. I'm here to argue that sugar agrees to all these 4 criteria. Look at unaffordability. You can walk into any drugstore and you would find shelves that have chocolates or soda drinks which are filled with sugar, which is contrary to what the store should be selling. You do not know what form of sugar is present in the product because sugar comes by 30 different names and all of them are the same. It's pretty much cheaper to buy sugar-sweetened beverages in some places than to buy milk, which is more essential. That brings us to toxicity. The recommended average or the maximum for sugar for every person is about 6 to 9 teaspoons. But then for a Western diet or industrial globalized diet, the other name for it, a person consumes about 22 teaspoons a day. That is more than 150% of the maximum limit. And then we also have its abusive potential. Sugar is known to release dopamine in the brain, which is one of the reward centers in the brain. It also can be a cause for addiction. Another negative impact of sugar-sweetened beverages is that you never get full. No matter how many drinks that you have, you do not know when to say stop, and all the empty calories goes into your body, and then it's just waste that you're not burning later on. The negative impact of society is that sugar is linked to diseases such as heart disease and diabetes, which was mentioned earlier, which was proved by studies done by the Harvard University as well as University of California, the Berkeley and the Davis Institute. They have suggested that sugar also influences levels of insulin and other growth-related hormone, which increase the likelihood for cancer later on. All these are related to sugar consumption. I'm not here to fight against sugar, I'm here to fight against its excessive consumption. Because just like other abusive commodities such as alcohol or smoking, excessive consumption leads to need for healthcare later in the future that cuts down taxpayers' money. The society should not tell you what you should or should not have, but then what you do should not have a negative impact on the others. And this is why I want the government to impose a tax on sugar in line with the success stories in Mexico and other places. Before I leave, I just have an emotional argument to make. The panelists here have a bias to what points they are putting forth. And since I'm a health specialist, my bias is towards a healthy society. So please keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor Irfan, for your point of view. Clear. I would like